Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be mid-April messages for the sign of Aries. What's going on, Aries? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. All right, Aries, welcome to your mid-April reading. Right off the bat, hope you guys had a lovely birthday for those who were celebrating here in April. Towards the tail end especially, I hope you guys had an amazing birthday. And for those who were celebrating at the end of March also, I hope everybody just had an amazing day, okay? All right, guys, shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I'll shuffle now for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that is when the reading begins. There is a timestamp in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. And I've announced this since the beginning of March. That price will go up. There will be some changes that I put through on my channel come June. So if you were thinking about getting a reading with me, I would suggest doing it now, as that price again will go up for what you get, which is at least a 40-45 minute reading with me for $25. That will change in May. So if you want that, get it now, because it just saves you money. And, you know, I don't like to, I like to save people money. Like, I'm not like the... Anyway, that's a whole different thing. I was about to give you guys like a story in my life. But basically, I just don't like to see people, have to spend more money than they need to. So if you've been thinking about it, I'd say hop on that sooner rather than later, okay? All right, Aries, let's get your outcome for mid-April, shall we? Outcome for Aries in mid-April. Outcome for Aries in mid-April, please. Was that a flip? Wow, that was quick. But ow. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Okay. All right, and let's see what's going on over here. Oh, no. Well, we don't know. We'll see. We'll see what that's all about. All right. Please show me Aries prominent energy in mid-April 2019. Aries prominent energy in mid-April 2019. Please show me. Okay, that was pretty good. Pretty quick. I like that. All right, Aries, coming into mid-April, you come in, dun, 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 with the Death card. Obviously, I did that for dramatic effect. There's nothing to be afraid of here when you get the Death card. Major Arcana card for Scorpio, so some of you might be dealing with a Scorpio in your life, but does not have to be. Aries, so transformation, right? We're going through some type of change. We're going through some type of healing process. We're going through the process of letting something that has been with us for a long time, a behavior, possessions, a mindset, a relationship, a job, whatever. And we're letting that go. Death is about release, right? Death is about accepting that nothing lasts forever, that in life we go through all kinds of phases and stages as a person, as a person by ourselves, as an individual. That's the word, not as a person, but as an individual. We go through changes in relationships, we go through changes in our environment and in our different circumstances, and we grow and we evolve, or we go back to the drawing board and kind of reevaluate things. So however that's playing out for you, Aries, it just is that's the name of the game right now. Is I feel some of you feel called upon from an external source to change, but I feel many of you, if not most of you, are feeling this call to change, this call to kind of alter whatever's going on in your life, however you feel about yourself, however you're approaching the situation, however you're approaching a relationship. I feel most of you have initiated this change yourself. You motivated, or you are motivated, you're self-motivated, but then I think also it's like the initiation of it, the pulling of the trigger, so to speak, was your doing. Yeah. So, and that's monumental. I feel whatever change this is, even if it's something small, like a behavior, breaking like a bad behavior, stop smoking, or drinking less, or stop drinking altogether, whatever it is, which, is all relative, of course, if it's a small thing, but whatever you're doing, it's like, it takes a lot of effort. Takes a lot of concentration or a lot of mindfulness to facilitate it and see it come through the other side successful. And you've been working on this for a little while. I'd say for the past few weeks, maybe even a few months. I wouldn't say more than a year. If you were doing this for more than a year and you're still going through it, you're a champion. Congratulations. That's a lot of patience. But what I feel is this transformation of yours, Aries, is relatively recent. And it's like really going to be like a night and day situation in some cases, and maybe not all, but I feel that whatever the transformation is, it's pretty drastic. It's pretty like unheard of for you to do this, or you never would have imagined it before at any point previous in your life. Do you get what I mean? Like, this is one of those, chapter endings in your book of life, where, sometimes we get endings that are the end of sentences or the end of paragraphs, or, the end of, let's say, a vignette, which, vignettes are not really chapters. And then you have chapter ends, and then, of course, you have the ending of the book. I feel we're at a chapter end. You're putting to rest something that has been, playing out for a while in your life. Relationships, jobs, behaviors, like it could be anything since it's a general reading. Now, the thing about this transformation and the ending that comes with it is this is all about you. I don't see anybody else here but you. It's almost staggering because you're having to do things that you've never done before. And they just want me to say that word, and I'm just like, well, it's there on the card. Temperance right above. It's card of Sagittarius, so you might have a person who is a Sagittarius in your life, but does not have to be. But the word they wanted me to use is temper. You need to temper yourself, or you are tempering yourself. And of course, that's a bit redundant since we're talking about the temperance card, but that's literally it. Like, this card is one of the best depictions of the temperance card I've ever seen, because it really is this amalgamation. The molding. I can't talk today. What's going on? The melding of this fire element and the water element in her other hand, and bringing it together, synthesizing it. Yeah? So that could be something that you're doing. You're combining or finding a way to find synergy between what you're passionate about, what you're very lustful about, or very energetic about in terms of fire energy. And you're trying to marry that energy with what is more calm, a little subdued, a little more alluring, or a little more subtle with the water energy, okay? Now you can think of that as elementals. You can think of that in terms of Zodiac or astrology. You can think of that in any way that you want. But when you mix together and fire and water, if you don't do it correctly, right? The fire, let's say you have so much fire and only a little bit of water. You will boil that water and you will make it evaporate, right? Over time. Too much fire, not enough water. If you have too much water and not enough fire, you put out the fire, you douse the fire, right? You reduce it. So it's this idea of having to find a balance between the two elements, the two sides of yourselves, or the maybe the different mindsets that you have, or the different emotions that you have, and finding something within that balance that's healthy for you. Like, that's also what I'm feeling here, is like this is a move towards being healthier, not necessarily physically healthier, but also emotionally or mentally healthy, being healthy in terms of your communications and your relationships with other people, having, some of you Aries, you may have been sort of stifling yourself recently or over the past few months. Maybe, again, I'm not going to say more than a year, but if it has been more than a year, God bless you. But some of you have been, sort of swallowing your emotions, swallowing disagreements or your own opinion on things, something like that. And others of you have been letting it all hang out, and you've been kind of overly expressive. This is just an example with the idea of expression and the idea of how you come to terms with your emotions, yeah? the point is to not go the exact opposite. And I don't think many of you are. Maybe that was your first inclination is, okay, well, I'm just letting people know what I think all the time, so let me just shut my mouth, or vice versa. My lips have been sealed for too long. Let me tell everybody under the sun what I think about them. And it's like, no, you got to find that middle ground, okay? And I think that's kind of, even though this is your starting point, the death card, the transformation point, I feel that your focus has been heavily on the temperance card, has heavily been on how do I find the perfect balance between these two sides of myself? How do I find the perfect balance in this relationship with whomever, my mother, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my child, whoever is significant to you, that you need to find some type of even-keeled approach. They need to be even-keeled with you, and you need to be even-keeled with them, whatever. The other part of this is that some of you, because again, death is transformation, and death often comes in the form of letting go of something. So some of you are having a transformation in a relationship or behavior or mindset, but I'm feeling the need to talk about a relationship where you're having to let someone go. And it's hard to find your footing again, okay? You have to release this person, release your history, release however you were connected. Now, that's not to say, I have to say that too quickly. That's not to say whoever that hits for, whoever that resonates with, you're breaking up or you're broken up and that's the end of the relationship. No, there's an aspect to whatever relationship I'm talking about, whatever relationship you're thinking of. It's letting go of a certain aspect, certain expectations or understandings of that relationship, and allowing them to be reborn as something else. So in the case of a child, let's say you have a kid who's growing up right before your eyes. They're a teenager, they're a young adult, they're going away to college, they're a sophomore in college, something like that. And you're seeing your child change in ways that you never expected, or that you are maybe struggling to appreciate or struggling to understand, right? You don't throw away your relationship with your kid. God forbid. I hope you're not. But you have to sort of mourn the death of what your kid was like previous to this point in their lives. Okay? They're becoming an adult. They're becoming an independent person. They're becoming whatever. For good or for bad, whatever your situation is, I don't know. And so it's this releasing of, they're not a toddler. They're not a 10-year-old anymore. They're a 21-year-old kid. They have to make their own decisions. They have to go about their life the way they want to. And I have to, because again, death is about release. Let it go. Okay? So it's in whatever relationship we're talking about, it's allowing the other person to go about and make their own decisions and reap whatever consequences or repercussions or rewards that they're going to get based on their own decisions without you or without a certain way of connecting with you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And again, you can reflect that right back into yourself. You have to if this is not about any external relationships and this is just something to do within yourself, same thing. Aries, I need to release and sort of mourn the person I used to be. If this is a change in your behavior, a change in your lifestyle, in the way that you go about taking care of your physical body. I've never run a mile in my life except for that one day a year in junior high where it was the fitness test and that was it. If you are now wanting to get your health under control, trying to make changes to your body that are healthful and helpful, then you have to mourn that part of yourself that was used to being a couch potato, used to eating well over 2,000 or 3,000 calories a day, maybe even in one meal, whatever we're talking about. You have to accept it. There's a thing about acceptance here that I think you're actually working well with for the most part, but from time to time, as we are human, as life creeps by the second, by the minute, by the hour, on these temporal clocks that we surround ourselves with, it sometimes is hard or becomes heartening, to stick with it. So I feel some of you might falter, some of you might, you know, second guess yourselves. But I feel the progress is all, like, you're so far down the road in this transformation that there would be no point in going back, or if you went back, like, you would be really undoing all of the progress that you've made so far. So I would encourage those who are like having sort of like a stalling, like you're like, what is that? With runners, like, don't they get like a massive cramp? Like after a long marathon, like halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, don't they, like, a lot of them like vomit, or they get like intense leg cramps, but they push through anyway because the finish line is so much closer than the starting line. The finish line is way closer than the starting line, so there's no point in me stopping right here in my tracks and going back. I might as well finish this race. So that's what I'm feeling for you. Finish the race, Aries. Okay. Now, wow, I'm like, one day soon, I'm probably going to do a live so you guys can see. I don't really look down here. I'm looking across the room in the corner, or sometimes out the window, but the blinds are down right now, so I'm not looking outside. And I'm like, what is this like hemming and hawing that I feel? And then I look down and it's like, oh, here you go. So this is exactly what I was just talking about, this Two of Pentacles. It's two things. One, you are second guessing yourself. Some of you are having like a bit of a panic. Did I make the right decision? Should I go back to the starting line? Should I go back to what I already know? No. And let me articulate this a little bit. It's not that you shouldn't go back to whatever your previous situation was, especially in a relationship sense. If you want to, if you and your partner want to work it out, or if you and your child, or you and your parent weren't seeing eye to eye, but now you're kind of coming to an agreement, that's all well and good. Work it out. But don't go back to how you used to be in that relationship. So if you were constantly compromising, constantly, you know, bending to the whim and the wills of the other person, don't kowtow to this person anymore. Don't. I don't care who it is, okay? So that's what I mean as far as don't go back. If you want to reignite or reestablish and reconcile a situation with someone or a relationship, that's fine. But just don't be the same previous version of yourself when you go back there, okay? So that's one. The other part is with the Two of Pentacles, for those who maybe aren't going back to any situation or person that existed previously, for those where you're changing your lifestyle for what you believe is the better, for what is more functional and more helpful in your life, there is a little bit of trepidation. There is a little bit of, I don't know what I'm doing, a little bit of anxiety, or a little bit of, what are my options here? Like, what are my real options here? There's horizons in front of you, Aries. And some of you are like a little intimidated or unsure or feeling just not ready yet. Now, in terms of Pentacles, that could be down to money, resources, anything like that that's in your physical world. Maybe you want to move somewhere, but you don't have the money. Okay, well, you're kind of stuck where you are until you get the money. Or maybe you want to start a business and it's not a matter of money. It's just a matter of, I don't really know what I would want to do. Maybe you have plenty of money and you have plenty of resources at your disposal, but you don't know perhaps which format in which to start your business. You know what I mean? Like a lot of businesses now, I think I mentioned in some, I don't know whose video it was, but I did talk for a little bit with someone about, you know, I think some people of a certain age or a certain experience in life or just a certain mindset believe that to run a business, you need brick and mortar and you need a storefront. Not really, you know? So it's a matter of really understanding what is at your disposal, what you can kind of bet on as a sure thing from yourself, what you can bet on and account and account for in terms of other people or other circumstances around you being available, stuff like that. And the two, being that it's a two, it's that initial step. It's that initial step forward. The aces are like the ideas, the opportunities, the you know, the fortunate circumstances that come into our lives or that we kind of, you know, cultivate and manifest for ourselves. The two, all the twos are the initial steps towards something. So you have this slow, since it is Pentacles, you have this slow step forward on a new path. where you may or may not feel so comfortable. You may or may not feel so confident. Regardless of it, I like that you're going to go. I like that you're going to go. I feel you're going to go. Yes, you're going to go. Whatever this is, new relationship, rekindling the old relationship, new job, sticking with what you have, but then trying to work up the corporate ladder. Whatever you're doing, whatever decision that you're making, and whatever pathway you walk down from this point going forward, Aries, it feels very positive. This Ten of Pentacles here in reverse. In terms of like the business, you know, you're starting your own business, you're leaving your job, you're quitting your second job so that you can, you know, start up your own Etsy shop, something like that. There might be some setbacks financially for whatever change you're going through. Oh, wow, that was quick. Because I'm like, okay, yeah, that goes without saying. When you start a new business, when you change jobs or whatever, it takes a while for your money to kind of acclimate. It takes a minute for things to kind of, you know, get back to a stable, predictable income and a rhythm to it. So that to me is kind of regardless. Now, the thing that they just like shoved into my brain was, for some of you where we're talking relationships and you're letting someone go, right? And you move forward. Likely, like I said, nobody else is here. Like, they're not here showing up. They're in the peripheral. I know many of you are dealing with other people, family, friends, spouses, ex-spouses, whatever. For those where you're letting someone go, whether that be a breakup, a divorce, your child going off to college, your child moving out of the house, you moving out of your parents' house, whatever, there's a financial loss behind it. There is a financial setback, if not a loss, a setback by losing that. And that's particular for people who like have vested in interest with each other. You share a home, you share, you know, banking accounts, things like that. Like, to get your stuff separated from their stuff financially, you know, in terms of ownership of materials, who gets the car, both of our names are on this damn car, we both need the car, you know what I mean? It's going to be a hassle to divulge those, kind of untie those strings, okay? The other aspect that traditionally goes with the Ten of Pentacles is like an issue of generations and legacy and having like long-term goals and seeing them kind of fulfill themselves or come into fruition. So a lot of you feel that you're losing something in the long run, or that down the line something isn't going to pay off or something isn't going to grow the way that you hoped it would grow. So of course, if we're talking about families and divorcing, or children growing up, and, you know, maybe, you know, no, it's not a judgment, but maybe you were like a coddling parent or a helicopter parent, and you just always were there for your children when they needed you, and now they're showing some signs of independence and that they don't need you as much, and you're kind of like, what does that mean? Like, for me down the road, I'm a wonderful parent. I love being a father to my children, or I love being a mother to my children, and you know, and if your child is sort of, in a sense, rejecting that part of the relationship between you, you then think, well, what am I going to do with all of this intent? What am I going to do with all this love and affection that I have? What am I going to do with, you know, I hate to say it, but like, what am I going to do with my free time? You know, stuff like that. Get a hobby. I mean, I'm just like, I'm kind of being facetious there because it's deeper than that. But I think a lot of you had a lot of fulfillment or not a lot of you, but whoever this is for, you had a considerable amount of fulfillment in providing for your child or your children. And now that you don't have to do that anymore, you're kind of at a loss. Like, where do I put all of this energy? Where do I put all of these actions and this love and this affection and this trying to take care of people? If they don't need me, who needs me? Like, some people really act in that way. You know, I act, the way that I show my love is through an act of service. So some of you might struggle with trying to find your way forward once you make this decision to walk down path A, B, C, D, all the way down to Z. I don't know how many options you have, but I think in the beginning, and maybe for a little while after the beginning, there will be a little bit of a stumbling, you know, financially, and if it's not exclusively finances, like you're not, you know, one paycheck away from being kicked out. If it's not so strict on that, it would then just be feeling stable and secure and independent in yourself, in your, like I said, in your own ability to be a full functioning adult. You're going to feel like, can I make it on my own? Can I really make this situation work with this new outlook, with this new set of behaviors and skills that I've obtained? You know what I mean? So there's a little shakiness once we really see the ball rolling with this transformation. Okay? Your outcome for mid-April, Aries, 8 of Wands. So talk, okay? So you might be talking with your friends, talking with your family, anybody really, or talking with the person who is significant in terms of the change in the relationship, the releasing and letting go of old ways, and then, you know, affirming and establishing new ground rules or new foundations, right? So you would be talking with that person or talking with people about all of this. There's a talk. The 8 of Wands also talks about action, you know. So there is this push. In some cases it's a pull, but I'm going to say it's mostly a push. It's mostly a go get 'em attitude, or a get feisty, get after it, you know, seize the day kind of energy. I feel you're not, despite whatever anxieties pop up for you and when they pop up for you, I think you're able to, for the most part, Aries, combat it quickly. To really not let it get you down, or not allow it to keep you held back, to keep you stuck. You might have a day or two where you're not sure. You might have a day or two where you're thinking things through and you're second guessing yourself and you're going back and forth in your mind, but you go talk to your best friend over a glass of Chardonnay and all of a sudden, boom, clarity. Or you go see your therapist, or you watch a tarot reading, or you journal, or you meditate, or you go down to the bar and have a drink or two and get hit on by some young 30-year-old someone in the bar. And now all of a sudden, oh, it makes sense. I totally should divorce my husband because I still got it, and I can catch a 30-year-old out here if I wanted to. You see what I mean? So through the process of communication, through the process of acting, of being out in the world and interacting with other people, getting involved in new situations, new hobbies, whatever it is, you maintain this journey, you maintain this trajectory for yourself. I really don't think many of you, if any of you, will be backtracking. Truly. If you backtrack, don't beat yourself up. I'm feeling, whoever this is for, you're just rolling on the river, okay? Sorry. Anyway, so I'm loving this for you, Aries. I really am. I don't feel much blockage, much of a hiccup, anything. Like a little bit of a stumbling block, a little bit of a, oh no, what am I going to do? I'm not sure where I stand. I think that will rectify itself, or you're going to find, oh, I was overthinking that, I was blowing it out of proportion, or fortune will just turn for you later and you're just going to push through the bad shit just so you can get to the other side, okay? Now, your overall for this mid-April period is the Ace of Pentacles. So, like I was talking there about that Two of Pentacles, I think what's overseeing this whole thing is this bright new idea, this bright new opportunity, this bright new inspiration, or point of investment. Interesting phrasing that they're putting there. Point of investment. What is that? Oh, right, because where did we start? We started with the Death card. And what did we talk about? Transformations, chapters ending in your life. That means you have to be reinvested, or for the first time ever, perhaps, for those helicopter parents, maybe, invested in yourself. I feel that this is something that, in some ways, you may or may not know, Aries, but you've kind of manifested it, many of you. you've kind of manifested this new opportunity that's come in front of you, even if it feels difficult, even if it feels foreign and strange or unexpected. You've actually called this into yourself, okay? So when we talk about pentacles, going back, this is like very general. This is like super general. I keep jumping from like scenarios to scenario, relationships, business, but now we're going to go back to business, right? So for those where this is a business, you're working a dead-end job, or you're working, you know, you're on your little corporate hamster wheel running away running for 5 days a week. And you're just like, I don't want to do that anymore. So you start thinking of different ways that you can go into business for yourself, or you're looking for new job opportunities that will give you whatever you think is missing in your life. Yeah. Just thinking about those things every day you go to work. I hate this job. I want a different job. I want to work somewhere where I can be creative, or I want to work somewhere where I can actually use my degree in biochemistry. I don't want to work in this office anymore. I want to work in the laboratory. I want to work with, you know, whatever. The more you think about those things, you know, whether you believe this or not, the universe is always listening, aka the energies are always attuned or picking up the frequencies that you're emitting. Yeah. So if you're emitting, I don't like, eventually the universe is going to catch up with you and say, oh, you don't like that. Let me take it from you. Or you don't like that. Let me change this for you. Or let me set you up so that you can find an opportunity to change it. You know what I mean? It might not happen the next day. That's the thing about this. So I need to explain this for somebody. This is not instantaneous. This is not like a box of ramen where 3 minutes later, I have a new job. No, that's not how this works. You have to have been going at this mindset, thinking these things, feeling these ways for weeks, months, and like I said, maybe up to like a year, maybe 2 years. But I'm feeling like this has been a constant thing, or something that you regularly wondered about. Am I in the right relationship? Am I in the right job? Blah, 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 blah. And now you've hit your wall, your runner's wall. You know, your legs have cramped out. And now you say, you know what? I need this change. I need to make these, I need to implement some type of change in my life. I got to get balance back in my life. I have to get to a healthier point in my life. It's going to be a hard decision to make going forward. Which road do I walk down? And all of that. It's all related to what you manifested and called into yourself. I need a new chance. I need a new opportunity. I need something new that I can take up, because aces are seeds, so that I can take it into my own hand and plant it in the soil and watch this new plant grow, watch this new opportunity, this new idea, this new relationship, or this new set of normal in my current relationship. Whatever you've been wanting and seeking, you called it in. In terms of like, for those where this is like a business thing or a health thing, because that's always related to pentacles: money, business, finances, health, wellness, mental, physical health, whatever. All that is related to pentacles. I feel, again, there will be a little bit of a hiccup. There will be a hurdle or two that you have to vault over. But once you do, your baby step married with that Ace of Pentacles makes a Three of Pentacles, which is the true building blocks towards, you know, progress down the path in the Pentacle suit, where we start to like make savvy decisions, where we start to negotiate and compromise and partner with people who can benefit us. Things like this. You have a great reading, Aries. I love it. Yeah. That's it then. Aries, that is your mid-April reading. If you liked it, there is a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. You can also share this video across your social media platforms. I would appreciate that. Also, be sure to leave me comments if this resonated with you in any type of way. I love to read that kind of stuff. So just let me know. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button below. Also hit the notification bell. That way you're on top of all the times that I upload new videos, new content to the channel, things like that. And doing any and all of those things is going to let me and YouTube know that you like what's going on here, which of course helps my channel grow, and which of course allows my videos and my content to be seen by people who have never seen it before. So if you want to help a girl out and do any and all of those things, I would appreciate it. Aries, I will be back very soon because this is kind of late for a mid, but you know, life, I'm a regular girl. I got a full-time job. I got family. I got friends. I have things to do. Um, but I will be back probably next week with the May readings. So I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care. Bye.